Albertsons Radio Row post-game in the Pan Am Center in Las Cruces. A spectacular finish to a spectacular Rio Grande rivalry matchup. Lobos 78, New Mexico State 77, final. And the 5-game slide finally is over. Take the fastest internet to the house with Xfinity XFi. Stream the Lobos all season long on every in-home device, no matter where you watch. This is beyond Wi-Fi. This is XFi. Xfinity, proud partner of the UNM Lobos. That has really stuck in Lobo fans' craw for a while now, Hunter, that 5 straight losses to New Mexico State. Forget about all of that. Now the Lobos will go for a sweep at home when they get the rematch with the Aggies in Dreamstyle Arena, the Pit. How about that?
A little dramatic near the end.
Yes, sir.
All the calls and turnovers and
multiple replay reviews.
I thought they did a great job.
They did.
You know, making the right calls and then checking and making sure. But how about the play of J.J. Caldwell at the end and in the second half? He had 4 assists in the second half, and he really got involved. He got some rebounds, and then he was offensive. He had 9 points. He didn't score in the first half. Had 9 second-half points.
That little sequence, too, there where it was kind of hanging in the balance, and he drove and kicked for a Manigault lay-in.
Yes.
And then he went into the trees and drew contact and finished a 3-point play.
Yes.
And that was back-to-back possessions. That was where the tide turned in this game late.
Yeah, no, and I like the fact that he's sharing the ball. That's what was missing throughout the game. Is the Lobos, you know, at home they were averaging 20, 21 assists, and then here they come
21 per game over 4 games.
On the road, and they're not able to connect, and either they're not moving the ball or credit to the defense. But I think JJ was able to find some guys and just turn it up, man. I like to see the little man come out and play in front of his family in from Houston. Had a great game here in the second half.
Yeah, you're right, Hunter. Maybe a little bit too much ISO ball on the road trip, and it's still early. It's just 6 games in. The Lobos are now 5-1. We're still finding out. The Lobos are still finding out who they are and, you know, what their go-to is going to be. But you're right. When they're sharing the ball, they're clearly better.
Yeah, no question. I mean, first half, Aggies were killing the Lobos in the paint. Second half,
turned it
around. I mean, I thought that was huge. That was a difference, too.
Big difference. Lobos win it 78-77 over their Rio Grande rival, the New Mexico State Aggies, here in the Pan Am Center. What a finish to this one. Well, check the back of every season ticket for a great deal at your local Arby's. Bring your coupon into any Arby's store and take advantage of this incredible offer exclusive to Lobo season ticket holders. Arby's, we have the meats. Timeout on court from Albertsons Radio Row. Post-game, the Lobos 78-77 winners in dramatic fashion over the Aggies here in Las Cruces. Stay with us. Coach, we're to come. Lobo basketball on the UNM Sports Radio Network. The Lobos defeat the host Aggies 78-77. Our guest is Lobo head coach Paul Weir. And Coach Weir, first, how did it feel, the handshakes and hugs and thank yous with the cherry and silver folks here behind us to our left?
Yeah, no, very thankful for these people for coming down. It was a great win, and obviously the people that came down to support us behind the bench, they were loud, they were supportive, and I'm glad they get to have a nice drive home tonight.
J.J. Caldwell was spectacular, particularly in the second half. What did you think of his play down the stretch?
Yeah, like I think I've told you guys, I just think he's been off for 2 years, and I think every game, hopefully, he'll just, take a little bit more rust off and continue to develop into a good point guard. And he is a good one. So hopefully every rep, he still has those couple of plays where you want to strangle him, and he had a couple again tonight, but he always finds a way to bounce back and come up with big plays, and he was good tonight.
I thought he got you guys back to Lobo basketball, whereas averaging 21 assists per game, moving the ball, sharing the ball, getting guys, setting them up in the position where they're supposed to be. I thought he did that in the second half. He had 4 assists in the second half.
Yeah, I thought we all did, to be honest. I thought our offensive rhythm was just better. I think, and that's been our thing. We've been a much better second half team, much better. I think our size and our strength over the course of the game usually finds a rhythm. I thought it did against UTEP. We kind of took the lead late. We did it here, and hopefully our depth and just our overall kind of size and strength can impose their will on teams. But JJ, you're right. He was the head of it, and I thought he got us settled. But I thought there was just a lot more openings in the second half. Got loose. He got loose. Corey got loose. We had some guys kind of loose getting to the rim.
Midway through the first half, they pushed out to a 9-point lead. It turned out to be the biggest advantage that either team held throughout the entire game. How did you guys settle down at that point and get it to where it was a one-possession game at the break?
Yeah, I told them that at halftime. I was really proud of them. I thought, and I told them even before the game, I said, one thing I've neglected to mention was, we went into UTEP, we were getting our butts kicked, the crowd was loud. We never once had an issue with an official. We never once had an issue with anything. We hung together. And even at halftime, like our conversations, Jaquan's like, man, we got to get Carlton the ball more. Our conversations were just very positive and very productive. And that UTEP game was a great litmus test for us that we passed. And then again, even tonight, whether it was that lead or the second half, our team just really has a great composure about it that I'm excited about.
Coach, in the first half, you really didn't have – you lost the battle in terms of points in the paint.
Yeah.
But in the second half, you turned that around, and, in fact, you guys finished 42 points in the paint to New Mexico State's 40.
Yeah.
Did you think that was a big part of it?
For sure. I think defensively we played zone again, and they were finding some gaps in our zone. And at halftime, we just kind of made some adjustments there, kept them out of the paint much better in the second half in the zone, which I thought helped. And then offensively, like I said, I think Corey and Carlton and Jaquan, we just have a lot of guys that really bang on you down there, and it's hard to do that for a full 40 minutes.
This team emotes, and the leaders emote, in particular Jaquan Lyle, and maybe more so than some of the other teams that you've had just 3 seasons. But Jaquan, even early strongman post, there's a ton of really positive energy. Do you want to just let them do that and keep feeding off that, or is it over the top sometimes?
No, I love it. It gives our team a little bit of a swagger, a competitiveness, an edge that I love. I thought we had a little bit of that 2 years ago. We had a Joe Firstinger, a Sam Logwood, an Antono Jackson that wore their emotions out there, and at times maybe it crosses the line, but I'd rather have that than kind of what we had last year of just constantly trying to, urge people into playing hard. And I just think it's a good problem to have. I'm really proud of Jaquan. We had some really tough, honest film sessions and conversations yesterday, and it was a rough day for him. He did not, take it the greatest, as many competitors would, as far as this is a good shot, this is a bad shot. This is good basketball, that's not good basketball. And by today, he rallied, and by tonight, he was terrific. He's a great basketball player, and he was the best player on the court tonight.
Coach, you talked about some things, the start and attention to details early, in your pregame. And then you talked about minutes and getting your bench minutes.
Yep.
And I noticed that Zane Martin really wasn't present in the second half.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, just wasn't something we wanted to go back to in the second half. We were kind of having some talks with him over the course of the game about where he was at mentally and engaged. And unfortunately, he just wasn't in the right place that we felt to kind of put him back out there.
What about the end sequences there with the inbounds plays and a couple of, really obviously disheartening turnovers? You survived it, but you said before we started it was ugly.
Yeah, no, I told them in the locker room that was ugly. There's no doubt about it. We have to clean that up. But the best part about it was I've told them since the beginning we win with defense. We're going to win with defense this year if we're going to be any good. And I can't think of a better example than basically 3 straight stops to win a game after 3 straight, bad offensive possessions. We got to clean that up, that end of game. It was really hard because we wanted to keep our bigs in there for rebounding, and we liked Corey being out there. We liked Carlton being out there, but it obviously left us a little short. You can go offense, defense at that point, but at the same time, we just felt those guys were in a good rhythm and we could close it out. We did not offensively, but thankfully our defense really stepped up and came up with the right stops.
That's great stuff. I hope the fans caught that. There was a point there in the second half where we noted, and Hunter pointed out, that you had a 4-guard alignment, then you toggled over to a big lineup, and I said that's as big a lineup as they can put out there.
Sure.
And following up on that, I thought tonight was a perfect example of how Vance Jackson can impact the game without scoring 26 points. I thought he had a really nice game tonight. His stat line doesn't look sexy, but in the columns where, it's not points, he came up big.
Yeah, no, I think we haven't played a defense like this that gets really extended and really gets out and denies. So our assist numbers were down and our ball movement was down because of what they do. But I told them it opens up drives. I mean, we had drives all night long right to the middle of the rim, and that was really the first time Vance has had that this year. He hasn't had those kind of openings to get to the rim and attack. I thought Zane had them in the first half. I thought Jaquan had them all night. I thought JJ had them all night. We had some great driving angles because they got so extended. So we just had to adjust a little bit because we haven't done a lot of that this year. We've tried to move it around and get it inside, but this was a team that does a really good job of taking away your reversals, and it just gave us some good one-on-one driving opportunities.
I'd like to follow up on something that Hunter asked earlier. If you would, give us a little more insight in terms of what adjustments were made that allowed you to get the points in the paint in the second half that you did not in the first, because talking with you and your staff, everybody said, we've got to work inside out, and it really worked in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just the production of it. You know, like it was so effective. Even these guys as basketball players, I mean, the harsh film sessions, the harsh talks after UTEP were the quick threes and the no-pass shots. And you watch those, and they're humbling, and they're a little bit, why is he bringing this up? But at the end of the day, they want to win too. So I think as we're getting into halftime, going, guys, every first play of the game, we lob the ball to Jaquan. It's an and one foul. Guys, it's there. Let's not shoot ourselves in the foot. Let's get the ball inside. And like I said, as the game wears on, I feel as though our ability to get the ball inside just opens up because teams know that's what we're trying to do.
And I'll tell you one stat that jumps out at me is you only had 16 turnovers.
I know. And you're talking 3 late, 4 late, maybe.
Yeah, you may only,
agreed.
Exactly.
I looked up at it. I think it was the 4-minute media, and we were winning the turnover battle. And I thought to myself, man, we haven't a team with this kind of speed and quickness for us to win the turnover battle was enormous. I don't know what it ended up at.
It was that film session you probably
had.
Yeah,
maybe so.
16 and 14 were the numbers. This is an interesting stretch now. Give the fans an idea of what it's going to look like. A late arrival back home, one day, and then you're on a plane and you're headed to New York. How much will you even get them on the court tomorrow? Are you going to give them a day off?
It's their first day off in a long time. So they earned the day off. We'll get home really late. We had 2 tough games. It was 2 great games for us, for our opponents. 2 one-possession games. You win one, you lose one, and now we got to go get ready for 2 more. And obviously it's going to go up a little bit in competition, but it is going to be a neutral environment. Not coming into something like this. So we just got to get back to the drawing board, keep preparing, keep coaching, and see where we get on Monday.
And a workout scheduled in New York on Saturday evening sometime, probably.
We're going to work on that. Yeah. We'll kind of pick up the pieces. Obviously, Jaquan played a lot of minutes in 2 games in 3 days. He has back-to-backs. It's something we got to talk a little bit about training-wise, body-wise, and we'll kind of see where that takes us.
I guess Carlton was okay. He logged a ton of minutes for you tonight.
He did, and I thought he made some terrific finishes around the rim. He hadn't done that yet, and he was confident. He wanted it. He wanted it at halftime. Our players recognized that. We went to him, and we need that. If we can get that, gosh, it'll be another element to have him and Corey and Jaquan as far as guys just around the rim that can really, really make some plays for us.
Have a safe, swift bus ride back.
I hope it's swift, yes. Thank you, guys.
Lobo head coach Paul Weir, post-game from Albertsons Radio Row. Lobos 78, Aggie 77, final. We wrap things up on the other side of the timeout. Take the fastest internet to the house with Xfinity XFi. Stream the Lobos all year long on every in-home device, no matter where you watch. It's beyond Wi-Fi. It's XFi, Xfinity, proud partner of the UNM Lobos. We've got our Toyota drive of the game after the break. Lobos 78, Aggie 77. Final. Lobo basketball on the UNM Sports Radio Network. Xfinity, proud partner of the UNM Lobos. All right, it is time for our Toyota drive of the game. Toyota, let's go places. Brown's going to have to pull it. Brown, 2 men contesting the 3. It's no good. And a rebound to Corey Manigault as Ari Coachea lost his headman. Caldwell going coast to coast. JJ to the rim. He scores and he's fouled. J.J. Caldwell delivers the Toyota drive of the game. Toyota, let's go places. And what a drive it was, Hunter.
Oh, man, the little man just took it to the hole, got the contact, and scored. I thought he was the difference of the game here in the second half. He played his game.
That tied things up at 75. Lobos win it 78-77. What a finish, partner.
Oh, man. 5-year drought, right?
5-game drought, not 5 years. We play them twice a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're right.
5-game drought. And
Felt like 5 years.
Yeah, no.
But I mean, to win here, and
huge. And now you go home with one in your hip pocket already. When you get them the next time, you can do to them what they've done the last 2 years.
Yeah.
That's sweep them.
Yeah,
that's huge.
No, it was a good win. Lobos needed that. 2 good road games, right? Preparing them.
Could have easily swept them.
Yeah, I mean, but in preparation for Brooklyn.
Right. And it ramps up. Final Four Auburn is off to a terrific start. Lies in wait on Monday in Brooklyn. That's going to be something.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Very much.
I know those guys had that game circled on their calendar for months.
No question about it. 24 points for Jaquan Lyle to lead all scorers. The Lobos' top rebounder was Vance Jackson with 7. How about J.J. Caldwell with a game-high 7 assists and such clutch play down the stretch? Trevelyan Queen, his 23, led his team, 23 points. They had 9 boards for Queen as well, was their team-high total. New Mexico trailed by a couple at the half, wins by a single digit, 78-77. Big thank you to Mike Vitale, my broadcast producer and engineer. Broadcast partner is Hunter Green. I'm Robert Portnoy. The Lobos will travel back to the Duke City tonight and get a much-needed day off, as Coach Weir mentioned. And then they will head over the weekend to Brooklyn, New York, in the Barclays Center for the Legends Classic. The 2 games on site in that NBA arena. It's a 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time tip-off against Auburn, a Final Four program from a season ago on November 25th. That is a Monday. Our airtime, 7 p.m. Mountain Time with the Lobo basketball pregame show. They got it done, Hunter.
Yeah,
Big win for the Lobos. 78-77. That'll do it for us for tonight. Your final score for the final time. The Lobos knock off the Aggies to drop them to 2-3 on the season. And New Mexico improves to 5-1 on the campaign, ending a 5-game loss streak to the rivals from down south. The Lobos, 78. New Mexico State, 77. So long, everybody. You've been listening to Lobo.